Welcome to Castified. We're diving deep today into a story that's, well, it's really sent ripples through entertainment and, frankly, beyond. We're talking about the cancellation of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert by CBS. The announcement says the show will end its run in May 2026. And this, it feels like more than just a show ending. It's become this stark illustration of how money pressures in media today, this whole changing landscape, can just slam right into politics, political power. It really blurs the lines, doesn't it, about what's really driving these big corporate decisions. The questions swirling around this are pretty intense. Was it, like CBS claims, purely about the money? Or were there other things going on? Maybe, political reasons. So our mission here is try and unpack all these layers. We'll use the sources you've shared to get hopefully closer to what happened and what it means, for late night TV, for satire, even free speech. Let's get into it. Okay, so the news drop Thursday. Kind of out of the blue for a lot of people. CBS makes it official. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert is wrapping up in May 2026, and that's huge.
It marks the end of a whole era, right? A 3-decade late-night run on CBS that started way back with Letterman in '93. It's a big deal in TV history. And Colbert himself, well, he talked about it on his show the next Monday. His reaction was quite something. He seemed genuinely surprised, made a crack about cancel culture going too far, which got a laugh. But underneath that, you can really sense his gratitude. He thanked the Tiffany Network, that old nickname for CBS, showing its class for the chance he had. And he made a real point of thanking his band, his whole staff, like 200 people, and obviously the audience, everyone who watched.
Yeah, and it's interesting how, despite how serious it was, he immediately used his monologue to kind of push back on the reason given. CBS said purely financial, but Colbert was openly skeptical. And looking at the numbers, you can see why he might question that. His show is consistently #1 in late night, averaging, 2.42 million viewers in Q2 of 2025?
Right.
And here's the thing. It was the only late night show that actually saw viewership go up by 1% over the first quarter.
Only 1%, but still, up is up when others are down.
Exactly. Now, it's fair to point out some sources like the Wall Street Journal noted that high ratings don't automatically mean profitable. That's a key distinction these days.
True. Big difference there. And yeah, the whole thing didn't stay just about TV ratings for long. It got really charged when Donald Trump jumped on Truth Social. He was celebrating the cancellation. Said something like, "I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings." And then added, "I hear Jimmy Kimmel is next. Has even less talent than Colbert." Yeah. And Colbert's response, live on air, it went viral instantly. Just looked into the camera and said, "Go FK yourself."
He did not hold back.
No, he didn't. That really escalated things publicly, made it clear this wasn't just showbiz news. So CBS, meanwhile, they just stuck to their guns. Their statement was very clear, purely a financial decision against a challenging backdrop in late night. And they stressed it was not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount.
Right. Drawing a very firm line in the sand.
But how believable is that line, really, given everything else swirling around?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And if you zoom out, there is a real financial squeeze on late-night TV. No doubt about it. The ad revenue. It's dropped dramatically. Like back in 2018, networks were pulling in around $439 million from late-night ads.
Okay.
Last year, that number was down to $220 million.
Oh, nearly half.
Over 50% drop in just 7 years. It's a huge decline. So you have to ask, why is that happening? Well, the economics are just tough. These shows cost a fortune to make. Colbert's, for example, reportedly had a budget of $100 million a year.
$100 million.
For a late night show.
Yeah. And despite the ratings, it was apparently losing CBS somewhere between, say, $40 to $50 million annually.
Ouch.
A big part of it is the audience shift. Young male viewers who advertisers used to love, they're just not watching linear TV as much. They're on streaming or watching clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
And monetizing those YouTube clips, much harder for the networks than traditional ad breaks.
Right, you lose that captive audience for the commercials.
Exactly. It's all part of that bigger trend, traditional TV viewership declining as streaming grows. And CBS felt this pinch elsewhere, too. They canceled after midnight earlier this year as well. So it's not just Colbert.
It does paint this picture of like an old model struggling. Jon Stewart had that great line about it.
Oh, yeah.
He said late night hosts are all basically operating a Blockbuster kiosk inside of Tower Records.
That's painfully accurate, isn't it?
It really nails that feeling of being, kind of outdated in this new streaming world. But does that analogy tell the whole story? Can late night still find a way? evolve, maybe?
It's a fantastic analogy for the pressure on the old model, definitely. But it doesn't mean the whole format is dead in the water. The challenge is adaptation. The traditional way relied on everyone tuning in at 11:30 for jokes and interviews. That mass live audience is gone, it's fragmented. The opportunity now, and what some are trying, is building loyalty on digital platforms. YouTube, social media clips, maybe podcasts.
Right, meeting the audience where they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the money, the revenue models for that, they aren't nearly as solid or established as the old TV ad dollars were. It's a huge hurdle. So yeah, the kiosk fits the old way, but the future might need to be something different, like a specialized digital studio. Very different game. That makes sense. Okay, so even with that clear financial pressure, CBS saying purely financial, there's still this strong skepticism, especially about the timing. And this is where it gets really complicated, where finance seems to tangle up with politics and big corporate deals.
Right. The timing is conspicuous. You have Paramount Global, CBS's parent company, okay. They recently paid a $16 million settlement to Donald Trump.
$16 million. Why?
It was over a lawsuit Trump filed about a 60 Minutes interview with Kamala Harris. He claimed they edited it selectively to make her look bad, ironically.
Oh.
And here's the link. Stephen Colbert, just days before his show got canceled, went on air and slammed that settlement, called it, quote, a big fat bribe.
Oh, wow. He really didn't mince words.
No. And then, add this to the mix, Paramount Global is trying to merge with Skydance Media, a massive $8 billion deal.
Oh.
And that kind of merger needs approval. From who? The Trump administration's Department of Justice and the FCC.
Ah. So government approval is essential.
Absolutely essential. And Skydance. It's led by David Ellison. His father is Larry Ellison from Oracle. Both are seen as close allies of Trump. There were even reports Skydance was looking at buying the Free Press, which is a right-leaning media outlet.
So needing Trump administration approval for your huge merger while your star host is publicly criticizing a settlement paid to Trump.
Exactly. It creates a context where the timing of the cancellation looks, let's say, politically charged. It definitely raises questions about potential leverage or pressure.
And it wasn't just media commentators noticing this. Politicians started speaking up too. Senators Elizabeth Warren, Adam Schiff, both Democrats. They publicly questioned if politics played a role in the cancellation.
Mm-hmm.
And the Writers Guild, the union for the show's writers, they even called for an investigation. Suggested Paramount might be sacrificing free speech to curry favor with the Trump administration to help get that merger approved.
That's a serious accusation.
It is. What are the implications if that kind of thing is happening, even if we can't prove it definitively?
Well, the big worry is a chilling effect on media, on free speech. We know Trump has sued media outlets before. ABC News settled a suit by donating $15 million to his library, for instance.
Right.
The argument is broadcast networks are maybe more vulnerable because they're regulated by the FCC. The FCC controls their broadcast licenses.
The licenses, that's real power.
Huge power. So the government or an administration could potentially pressure networks over license renewals or claims of news distortion. Even the perception of that power could influence decisions. The optics here, with the settlement, the merger, Colbert's comments, and then the cancellation, it certainly looks messy. It makes it easy to suspect that maybe external pressure played some role or at least shaped the environment for the decision.
So in the middle of all this, how did Colbert's peers react, the other late-night hosts? It was a real show of solidarity, actually. Jon Stewart, for one, he was incredibly critical of CBS and Paramount.
Knowing Stewart, I can imagine.
Yeah, he didn't hold back. He actually led his audience in a go FK yourself chant aimed at companies that, in his words, bend the knee to Trump. It was pretty raw. And David Letterman, who started it all on CBS, he showed support too, but subtly.
How so?
A 20-minute montage just appeared on his YouTube channel, all clips of him making fun of CBS over the years.
That's classic Letterman, saying a lot without saying a word.
Exactly. Jimmy Fallon was a bit lighter, joked about keeping his own job, at least for tonight, praised Colbert's run, made a little joke about Paramount Plus viewership too. And Jimmy Kimmel, he had a pretty direct, profane Instagram post aimed at CBS. So yeah, the late night club seemed to circle the wagons around Colbert.
But not everyone. There was a very different take from Greg Gutfeld on Fox News Channel.
Right. Trump had praised Gutfeld in that same Truth Social post.
He did. And Gutfeld basically dismissed the whole censorship angle. He argued CBS is a business. They're free to fire someone who's stinking up a market. framed it as just a business decision about performance.
Implying Colbert wasn't performing well, despite the ratings.
Essentially, yeah. Or at least framing it as CBS is right regardless. Of course, Gutfeld's show is different, airs earlier, has a clear conservative pro-Trump viewpoint. So his perspective comes from a very different place. And just to complicate the picture of Trump's media lawsuits further, this isn't directly about Colbert, but shows a pattern. He also recently sued the Wall Street Journal.
Journal, okay.
And its parent company, News Corp Murdoch's company. This was over a story about a very sexually suggestive birthday letter Trump allegedly wrote to Jeffrey Epstein back in 2003.
Wow, okay. That adds another layer.
It does. Again, separate from Colbert, but it shows a consistent strategy of using legal challenges against media organizations reporting things he doesn't like across the political spectrum.
So wrapping this all up, it feels like the cancellation of The Late Show is just, it's incredibly complex. There isn't one simple answer, is there?
Doesn't seem like it.
That official purely financial line from CBS, it just doesn't seem to capture the whole picture. You've got this clear dual narrative. On one side, yes, the real financial struggles, the ad dollars drying up for late-night TV, that's undeniable.
Absolutely. A very tough environment.
But on the other side, you have these really strong suggestions, these allegations of political influence, maybe even retaliation, especially with that timing the merger, the settlement Trump received.
Yeah, and what really stands out, I think, is that whichever factor you emphasize more, the whole situation just highlights how vulnerable, critical, commentary, political satire can be today, especially when you have media companies consolidating, getting bigger, and needing government approval for major deals while also covering politics.
Right.
It's a stark reminder that these platforms for free expression, even huge ones like The Late Show, aren't untouchable. The lines between business, politics, media content, they're getting really, really blurry.
It definitely leaves you thinking, doesn't it? In this era, with media companies facing such huge financial hurdles and, at the same time, intense political scrutiny, what is the future for satire, for free speech on big networks? Will it get pushed onto different platforms? Will it have to change its form? And maybe the biggest question for you, listening, what role do audiences play? By deciding what you watch, what you click on, what kind of commentary you support, how much power do you actually have in shaping what comes next? Definitely something to think about.